Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union. We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship, and we bring you weekly advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. We also interview top business leaders in the industry. So helping today provide us with some empowerment, I had the pleasure of speaking with Theodore Massillon. He is the CEO of Nom Media. Theo is a creative marketing strategist based in Queens, New York, and he is passionate about helping media, helping brands grow through a combination of SEO, content for social media, PR, digital marketing. He handles it all. I had the pleasure of meeting Theo through events with the Long Island Elite and out networking because he's everywhere. And I can tell you that he is the real deal. So welcome to the show today, Theo.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, Ray.
We're very excited. Thank you so much for joining us. I've seen some of your work, and it's very exciting. So, but before we get into that, why don't you just kind of take us to the beginning of your journey in this career?
Yeah, so I grew up in Queens, New York. Mm-hmm. I did my first year and a half in college at CW Post out here on Long Island. And then I finished off with a degree in international marketing at UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio.
Nice.
And, I did international marketing because, first and foremost, not going to lie, I wanted to travel.
Yes.
Yes.
And by the way, I've seen your LinkedIn and your posts with the pictures are just gorgeous,
yes,
the places you get to visit. So I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I wanted to travel. I was always a super creative person. And really, I got into marketing because I just love telling a good story. Mm-hmm. But for the first 10 years after I graduated, it was around the 2008 financial crisis. So there was no jobs in marketing.
Great time to look for a job.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I ended up working in a local 3 electricians union as a project manager. Oh. And so through that, I really honed my project management skills, strategy skills. And so right before the pandemic, and also a good time to step away from a good paying job with benefits.
Wow, your timing is just perfect.
I stepped away to start Nom Media as a marketing agency. Mm-hmm. Through all my past experiences, I just became really, really good at strategizing, at planning. And then I just tied that into my marketing background, and out came Nom Media, which is doing amazing right now.
Now, does Nom Media stand for anything, the NOM?
Yeah, NON stands for Natural Organic Marketing and Media. So Nom Media.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. And that definitely ties into the work that you do, that I see you doing. So kind of to the layperson, though, what does digital marketing entail? And you also do a lot of work with SEO. Mm-hmm. What is all of that? How does all that work?
So all that works because we're in a digital landscape right now. Marketing used to be, and still is, sending out flyers to your addresses, all that junk mail, or either putting it into a journal or newspaper of some kind. That's the way it used to be. But now at the advent of the internet, marketing and advertising has stretched online, right? And, at first it was easy, and now you need whole marketing teams and stuff for that. And so what I do is I come in and I strategize. For example, it's December right now. 2024 is going to start. So I like to tell my clients and people who are looking, now's the time to look. Now's the time to start your 2024 marketing plan, have your milestones, have everything. And then that entails whether that's email marketing, social media marketing, SEO. SEO is more like search engine optimization, which is really optimizing your website and any of your online hubs to make it more searchable, to make it more viable, so that, when someone puts in your name, you are on the top result of either Google, TikTok, Instagram, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world. I feel like the digital marketing is so much more experiential than when, like, Facebook first started, for example, or MySpace, even if you go back that far. Like, the ads were kind of annoying. Now I feel like the ads are so intriguing, and I'm actually pulled into this rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's called the funnel. You've been caught in the funnel.
I've been caught in the funnel. All right, so there's a term for it. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about how you kind of explore that world, and how do you kind of pull brands into it and make people, get excited about certain brands?
Well, I'm sure you heard a lot of this, but if you have a product or a service, you really don't want to just market the product saying like, here, I have a cup, buy it. Yeah. You want to market how that product or service makes someone feel. So, marketing a cup, a mug, you want to talk about like having your morning coffee in it and how it's going to get you ready for the day, and how this mug is just going to, make your day brighter and more productive. And so that's what we really do. It's a bit of storytelling and a lot of bit of strategy behind that storytelling.
Oh, there's a psychology to it for sure, because talking about coffee cups. So I have a huge Star Trek mug that I bought from Cracker Barrel. The reason I purchased it, I'm always looking forward to my coffee now. It has the Star Trek nostalgia to it. It has the memory of me being at Cracker Barrel. And getting the mug for a discount. So, it was all really good stuff. Now, I'm sure, though, that this being so, involved, there's a lot of mistakes that folks are making. What are some of the mistakes that you see when you see a brand out there kind of trying to tell their story?
A lot of mistakes that I see, especially in the social media landscape, is that brands just think they could go on all the social medias, drop their stuff, and people will come running. Yes, if you build it, they will come. It's still true, but you definitely want to have a plan behind that. Every social media platform has a different audience. Facebook right now is for like the older generation. Instagram, I like to say, is more millennials, but also more like a portfolio platform.
Yes.
TikTok is for the younger kids, but at the same time, it has the most growth. Fun fact, TikTok is now, or will soon be, the top search engine, more than Google.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah. YouTube is for everybody. That's how you see a lot of how-tos. And another fun fact, my brother-in-law basically renovated his whole house on YouTube. He taught himself, got the stuff, and did it himself. Yeah.
There is. Yeah, there's so much. I did work on my car from a YouTube video. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, and so that's the top mistake. Your product might not even need to be on social media, or it doesn't even need to be on all of them. And another mistake is email marketing. Email marketing is the bare minimum of what every business should be doing. You should be at least sending out 2 emails a month, nurturing your brand, nurturing people who are subscribed to your newsletter or want to know what you're doing. Because in marketing, you need about 10 to 14 touches on a potential client or a former client for you to be top of mind. So, we get a million emails from Nike and all these other brands, big brands, a day. You should be at least twice a month at a minimum. So like a lot of brands I know don't have email marketing, and I'm like, come on, man, you have to at least have email marketing.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm looking at my own activity personally, and I do open up emails from certain brands, and there are certain things I subscribe to. But yeah, I would have thought actually email is starting to kind of get phased out a little bit with all the social media. So it's not.
No, email is not, because with social media, you're pulling in people who don't know you, except really like your followers. But not everybody has 10, 50, a million followers. You might only have like 200 followers. But social media following is your following, but technically not your following. When someone signs up for your newsletter, they give you your name, the email, possibly number. That is your platform. That is your audience. And you could really pull in that audience and possibly sell them a product or service faster than you would do on social media. For example, let's keep numbers simple. You have 100 people on following your social media, 10% of that, 10 of them are going to sign up for your newsletter. You want to pull them down that funnel. They sign up for your newsletter. 10% or 20% of those 10 people actually buy from you. So that's 2 people, depending on how big is your selling item. Yeah, that is where you want to go. You really want to get that email list going.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with our guest today, Theodore Massillon. He is the CEO of Nom Media. Now, going back to email marketing, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking, absolutely, this makes a lot of sense. And I'll give you an example. There's a company called Vinegar Syndrome that I love. They're like kind of a niche Blu-ray company.
Okay.
And they release films that are old, forgotten films. And sometimes the movies don't even matter to me necessarily, but I actually buy from them because just the story of their brand and their packaging and the extras, and I'm so entertained by it. And so when I get that newsletter, I immediately click it open and read it. I just can't,
You're a good follower. You're a good person for that brand.
So that's what you're looking for, really.
Yeah.
You're looking for that.
Yeah. And we really, as you said, our company really does the mission, vision, and strategy behind companies like that. We come in, before we give you a proposal, we do a quick audit. Mm-hmm. And then when you sign on, even if you have a mission or vision, we try to audit that to make sure it's what's really going to attract your target audience or ideal client profile.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you're going to ask them, because sometimes it's like when people get into a business, like they want to open up a restaurant because they love food, but they don't understand that managing the food is completely different from actually eating the food or cooking the food.
Exactly.
And it's a business. So, and they get off track as to what their goal is.
Yeah.
So you kind of help them decide, all right, well, what is your goal? What are you looking to do with your marketing and
exactly
ultimately
bring more people in the seats? What type of people? What type of food you're doing? How to tell that story about the food that gets people excited? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Now I'm sure that you've been in situations then where you've kind of come up with ways for businesses to not only focus on their mission but also kind of broaden things and actually find other ways to sell their brand.
Yeah.
Can you give us any examples of something that might have happened like that?
One thing that we did a while back is we worked for about a year with a company or a company that was in cellular agriculture. And basically...
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
The layman's terms is they made lab-grown meat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Lab-grown meat for sustainability and everything. They had a huge funding. And they were full of engineers and scientists and everything. And they're just like, how do we get people to be okay with lab grown meat and et cetera, et cetera. And, we had to come in and say, we have to dumb down your language a little bit. Right now you're pushing to get more funding, but we really have to get the general population okay with lab-grown meat. 99% of people you talk to right now are going to say lab-grown meat. I'll never touch that, but we could have said the same thing about Impossible. And now look at, they're in Burger King, they're everywhere, it's in every supermarket. No longer than 5 years ago, people were like, I am not touching that. And so we did historical research.
I was one of them.
Exactly. So we did historical research and had to redo their story, their marketing, so that they could, push towards all-American cowboy who's like, I'll only eat, real beef. And now they're, slowly, surely people are getting to say like, okay, I'll try it out. We did something like a Pepsi challenge commercial where we put 2 burgers, 1 lab grown, 1 not. So that was fun. And that was fun and hard trying to like switch a bunch of people who are definitely smarter than me to say like, listen, don't use all these big words. Just say tastes the same or better than meat.
Yes, and I also think, there's definitely an angle to explore there in terms of folks' concerns about the environment and, very real things. And it's funny because I was one of those people that would never touch this. But I do feel like the marketing started to make me more comfortable. And I was like, all right, well, now Burger King is adopting this. All
exactly.
Right. So my daughter went vegetarian rather.
Yeah.
And so when I had to cook for her, of course, I was going to try it.
Yeah.
because I'm not going to feed something to my kid that I'm not going to try myself. And I wound up liking it so much. And then the marketing, again, made me feel very comfortable with it. So now it's just a part of my diet.
Yeah, it's just a repetition. It's just getting out there, making sure you're in front of people. The more people see it, the more people get comfortable with it. The more, tests are out there to show, like, listen, this is okay. It's not making people grow a third arm.
Right.
So, that's all marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other lab things that we put in our bodies and drugs and so forth. So
Cheese whiz.
All right, now you're speaking my language, so there you go. Now, I would view you, based on all your work, as a leader in digital content creation and brand storytelling. I think that the work you do is fantastic, and but it is something that it's very hard to kind of quantify. And in times of economic stress, of course, people tend to take away from marketing as first thing, which I think is a big mistake. But can you tell us, how are some of the ways that you stand out from your competition and also thrive in times like this?
Well, the way I really stand out is, first and foremost, my team. My team. When I started this, obviously it was just me. And when I got to a point of maybe getting 5 to 6 clients, things started getting like really, really, jumbled together. And, I found my time being split instead of being really focused on a certain client. And to put it simply, I consider me and my team your outsourced, insourced marketing team, or your fractional CMOs, just like you hear fractional CFO, your fractional CMOs. So we come in and we really strategize what you're doing. We really do the research and the background to make sure we understand your company, and not just someone saying, hey, here's a few Instagram posts, here's a few email blogs and newsletters, send them out and you'll be okay. We really make sure that we focus on the analytics. We do a lot of the A/B testing. I know you mentioned that before. It's a lot of testing. Yeah, the testing lets us know what happens. I like to say that unless you're talking about politics or religion, no one's gonna crucify you for making a wrong post or making your copy this way or that way. So I like to tell people, be a lot, more open to trying different things, because you never know what might work. You never know what might work. So the team comes in, and I make sure that, our team members are only working on about anywhere from 3 to 4 clients at a time, so that, on a weekly basis, they could really immerse themselves in that client's business, be able to test things, give feedback, give them the analytics of why it doesn't and doesn't work, where we should pivot, and implement everything, so that in a year we could say, hey, you started here and now we've grown 20%. 20% might be $20,000, $5 million, or $200, but that's money that you didn't have before, that because your marketing wasn't where it's at right now, and now you understand your business. Now your salespeople could go out and know what to say and have analytics and have everything they need to say, or owners could go out and sell their businesses a little better. We're really marketing is kind of sort of like your internal research and development R&D department. We do a lot of things to make sure we're hitting the right marks.
Now, what I always find interesting is, I'm in sales, and to me, sales is almost like 90% marketing, 10% actually selling.
Yeah.
But I always find also that in many corporate settings, the sales and marketing folks kind of clash. They have different ideas.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Of course.
Yeah.
And the really good times is when we're able to explain, we're not here to clash, we're not here to fight with you. Everybody's idea is a good idea. Unless you could physically tell me based on historical research or data that your idea is not going to work, or we could prove that, let's test every idea. Let's all put it on a spreadsheet. Let's say, hey, first quarter we're going to try this, second quarter we're going to try this, A/B test everything and see what works. And if that works, we pivot a little bit towards that, test again. So it's constantly testing and growing. So I work with sales teams all the time, and some are just like, oh, that's a stupid idea. And then we talk lightly and say, hey, let's just try it out. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. As long as it's not something that's, going to hurt reputation or anything like that. Like you said, it's, pretty much anything like that. You try different promotions. All right, someone crashes and burns. No big deal.
Yeah.
You don't do that again.
Exactly.
But the point is to learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a little about that follow-up process and what you do from the point that, all right, let's say a campaign worked really well. Now what? Do you do it again? Do you do something different? Like, what's kind of the rule of thumb, or is there a rule of thumb?
There isn't really any rule of thumb. If a campaign works, we're going to take that basis of the campaign and try to emulate it. And emulate it as much as possible to see if it's going to work again. If it's not going to work again, if it didn't work again, why didn't it work again? And then if it does work again, we'll try to emulate it and see what people really, really take to. For example, what is it? Allstate has Flow. Is it Allstate or State Farm? One of them. But, they all have these characters. There's Flow, there's State Farm. Progressive, there we go. Progressive has Flow. And Progressive ran with Flow for years because they found out that, a lady dressed as like your girl next door in an apron and brought that trust across that like Progressive is the insurance company to go for. And they ran with that. And probably just ended that pretty recently within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So that's something that we do, seeing how it goes. One of our own clients was a law firm. They did divorce law, and we were trying everything. And then within 3 months, we found that the owners of that law firm really, really loved Disney, right? So we were just like, Disney is you. Let's try to incorporate Disney into a law firm's divorce marketing. So what had happened was one of the girls at the office started doing a bit. We started doing a bit about taking Disney characters or fictional characters, putting them on screen and saying, hey, what is the likelihood that Jasmine and Aladdin or Cinderella and Prince Charming are going to get divorced? And that blew up.
Oh, that is great.
Hundreds of thousands of views. People were calling, DMing because they said, you're so funny. And then from that, they found the educational videos that we were doing for them about divorce law and how to handle it at a way that's not like what you see on TV, like messy. And they started getting a lot of stuff like that just from doing a little fun bit from Disney to like fictional characters of like, these fictional characters are partners. Do you think they're getting divorced? This, that, and the third. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
What a great idea. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Theodore Massillon. He is the CEO of Nom Media. My name is Ray Schwetz, and we're on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. So I feel like the world of marketing is definitely getting so like futuristic. What are some of the things that you see trends in that may develop and what the future of marketing might look like?
It'd be amiss of me to not talk about AI.
Yes.
AI is huge. AI is something that if you're in any business, you should be following, but especially if you're marketing or in the marketing business. It used to take, days, hours to write a blog post, or multiple blog posts or copy and everything. Not to say AI is going to take our jobs. It's absolutely not, I think, in the marketing world, but it is going to allow a really seasoned, strategized marketing professional to do things a lot faster. If you're using it as a adjunct instead of a crutch, we're able to think of strategies, think of ideas, flush them out at a faster pace than we were before, allowing us to do more work, create more strategies, and implement those strategies at a faster rate. So that's one thing that I'm personally loving with AI. The fact that we could get word dumps from our clients, strategize it together, kind of think of what we think is right, use AI to see, is AI going to give us the same answer or is it going to give us anything different? See what it gives us, strategize on that again, and come up with plans and implementations.
And it just seems like it's getting better and better as it goes. I guess it's learning more.
Yeah.
But yeah, because one of the concerns I had is, all right, well, it's pulling information from the internet, so it's it's not going to be 100% correct.
Correct.
But if you're using the tool the way that you're describing, that makes a lot of sense to me, because what you're doing is you're organizing all that.
Yeah.
But then you're going to fact check it. You're going to look through it and make sure that it all works out.
Fact check it. Make sure you're still putting human eyes and human, workload behind that to make sure that it's exactly what you need, or it's giving you ideas that maybe 3 people in the room, 4 people in the room can't think of.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
and the technology advances are so amazing. I'm a big Kiss fan.
Okay,
and now they're at the end of the road, but they have avatars that'll be touring now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes their music kind of immortal, and they're still going to continue making money. And and I assume that AI has a lot to do with that and how that works. So pretty incredible stuff. So what are some tips that you have for folks? I'm a big fan of kind of top 5, just to get people interested. What would be your top 5 tips for folks for marketing? Bits of advice.
Definitely, if you don't have an email marketing campaign going on, start that. Start that yesterday.
Yes.
Start that yesterday. Really strategize your marketing and make your marketing plan, your yearly marketing plan, your mission and vision board. We do that for sales. We have sales plans. We have operation plans. We have financial plans. People seem to forget about marketing plans. Marketing plans really work. They really, really work, especially if you have people behind it implementing it and testing it out. Number 3, I would say pay attention to your ideal client profile and find out where they are on the internet. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? That kind of thing. You don't need to be on all platforms, and you don't need to be on all platforms posting daily. 2 times a week is fine. Just make sure your stuff looks good. Make sure your stuff looks good. Make sure it's speaking to the audience, because what's the first thing someone does when they hear about your business? They go to your website and they probably look for you on social media, and then they look for reviews. That's like my 4th marketing thing. Make sure that you're implementing people's experiences with your company on your in your marketing or on whatever platform you're on. People trust other people. You could tell everybody I could fly to the moon and back, but unless, people are just like, man, this guy could really fly you to the moon and back, you go on Amazon, and before you buy a product on Amazon, what do? You scroll down and look at all the reviews. Is it 3 stars? Is it 4 stars? If it's only 3 stars, why is it 3 stars? Are people's reviews unreasonable? Is it because of the shipping and not actually the product? So definitely do your reviews, implement reviews into your marketing. And I would say 5th, don't take it too seriously. Have fun.
Theo, where can folks find information about you and about Nom Media?
NomMedia.co. We are _Nom Media on Instagram, Nom Media on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where we're most active. And you could find me on LinkedIn as well at Theodore Massillon.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Theo.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing conversation, a lot of fun. And great to work with you. So I'd like to leave you with DB's philosophy. Denisha Boston Hill, my co-host. So success is making those who believed in you look brilliant. Dharmesh Shah. My name is Ray Schwetz. Thank you so much for being with us. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio as a podcast, on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.